Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Yashodanandana Brajadana Randana Yashodanandana Brajadana Randana Yamuna Tira Vanasari Yamuna Tira Vanasari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Hari Yashodanandana Brajadana Randana Yashodanandana Brajadana Randana Yamuna Tira Vanasari Yamuna Tira Vanasari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare बोलो बोलो। हरे राम हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gaura Premanandi, Jai Mishapad Paramahamsa, Sri Radhakachad, Stotra Satta, Sri Simar, His Divine Grace, Tirabai, Sharanarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Sri Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, ISKCON DBT, Founder Chariots Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki, Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki, Samavata Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki, Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki, Daini Thai Gaura Pimanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru, to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Aksuranmiritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Paritana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitam Sya Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Siti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Dharam Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraya. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayashavadrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, whose praise with transcendental songs becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama-shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasyaya Namaha. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Sridham Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Sarabhyay Namaha. Om Sarabhyay Namaha. Om Sarabhyay Namaha. Mukam karoti vasanam pangom nangayate girim yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Bhagavatam class. We are continuing from canto number 2, chapter 4, which is entitled The Process of Creation, and we are reading text number 5. Text number 5. Rajavacha Tamichinam Vachu Brahman Sarva Nyasya Savanagha Tamo Visiryate Mahyam Harehe Kotayataha Katham Rajavacha Samichinam Vachu Brahman Sarvajnasya Tavanagha Tamo Vishiryate Mahyam Hare Katha Yatha Katham Rajavacha Samichinam Vacho Brahman Sarvagnasya Tavanagha Tamo Vishiryate Mahyam Hare Kartayata Katham Rajavacha Samichinam Vacho Brahman Sarvajnasya Tavanagha Tamo Vishiryate Mahyam Hare Katha Yatha Katham Rajavasa Samichinam Vacho Brahman Sarvajnasya Tavanagha Tamo Vishiryate Mahyam Hare Katha Yatha Katham Rajavasa Samichinam Vacho Brahman Tamo Vishiryate Mahyam Hare Katha Yatha Katham Raja Uvacha. The king said, Samichinam, perfectly right, Vachaha, speeches, Brahman, O learned Brahmanas, Sarvajnasya, one who knows all, Sava, your, Anugha, but without any contamination. Samaha, the darkness of ignorance. Vishiryate, gradually disappearing. Mahyam, unto me, Harehe, of the Lord. Kathayataha, are you speaking? Katham, topic. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Maharaj Parikshit said, O learned Brahmana, you know everything because you are without material contamination. Therefore, whatever you have spoken to me appears perfectly right. Your speeches are gradually destroying the darkness of my ignorance, for you are narrating the topics of the Lord. Can you repeat after me? Maharaj Parikshit said, O learned Brahmana, you know everything because you are without material contamination. Therefore, whatever you have spoken to me appears perfectly right. Your speeches are gradually destroying the darkness of my ignorance. For you are narrating the topics of the Lord. Yes. Report. The practical experience of Maharaj Parikshit is disclosed herein, revealing that transcendental topics of the Lord act like injections when received by the sincere devotee from a person who is perfectly uncontaminated by material tinges. In other words, reception of the messages of Srimad Bhagavatam form from professional men heard by a Kama Diya audience never act uh, miraculously as stated here. Okay. Devotional hearing of the message of the Lord is not like hearing ordinary topics. Therefore, the action will be felt by the sincere hearer by experience of the gradual disappearance of ignorance. And Srila Prabhupada quotes from the Svatashvatara Upanishad 6:23, the following verse, Yasya Devi Para Bhaktir Yatha Devi Tatha Guru Tasyaite Kotita Karta Prakash Sante Mahatmanaha. When a hungry man is given food to eat, he feels uh, satiation of hunger, and the uh, and the pleasure of dining simultaneously. Thus, he does not have to ask whether he has actually been fed or not. The crucial test of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is that one uh, should is that one should get positive enlightenment by such an act. Yes. Translation again. Maharaj Parikshit said, O learned Brahmana, you know everything because you are without material contamination. Therefore, whatever you have spoken to me appears perfectly right. Your speeches are gradually destroying the darkness of my ignorance, for you are narrating the topic of the Lord. So here, Parikshit Maharaj is glorifying Uh, mm, mm, 12 seconds here. So this is Sutta Goswami who is narrating, isn't it, in Naimisharanya, uh, what he has heard. And what he has heard is a, a very personal exchange, a very personal uh, discussion, sharing between two great personalities. Sutta Goswami was one of so many sages, sadhus, who were hearing this such great conversation, which uh, it is such great conversation that it has, since the last 5,000 years, I will not do two things at the same time. Unless one is hearing with proper attention, then it doesn't work. This is the point being made here. That when there's a conversation as was taking place between Parikshit Maharaj and Shukadeva Goswami, only those who were listening with rapt attention could actually benefit from that conversation. Because that conversation was uh, without any motivation. That conversation was between uh, two personalities who were very elevated in consciousness and who were eager to, one was eager to speak to Kadeva Goswami, and one was eager to hear. If one is not eager to hear, then other person will not be eager to speak. So this point is being made here that there will be a good result. The exchange will be beneficial when uh, this quality of hearing is present, when this quality of speaking is present also. It's like Shukadeva Goswami was hearing with great attention, was very eager and was very happy to hear questions from Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj had very very important questions uh, to which he wanted some clarification, and these are questions that generally people don't discuss. So this point is being made here that when there is even a small tinge of material uh, motivation, many times Prabhupada is making this point that people who hear from professional people, they cannot get the proper benefit. It doesn't touch. It doesn't touch the heart. The previous chapter was uh, pure devotional service, change of heart. Change of heart cannot take place. Like Prabhupada would say, so many people before have come to your country. He was speaking about North America. So many sadhus have come since even the previous, in the early in the early 20th century. Different sadhus have come, but who was able to ignite the fire of Krishna consciousness? Who was able to uh, to to actually touch the heart of those fortunate souls who were actually eager to hear? Many people came to hear Prabhupada, but not everyone. Uh, everyone benefited, of course, but those who benefited the most were those who were eager to hear, because the subject matter is the most important subject matter, which takes one beyond the bodily platform. So this is also demonstrated uh, in the sages, the sages of Naimisharanya. Mm, They uh, they were very eager to hear from Sutta Goswami. They knew that Sutta Goswami had uh, heard from Shukadeva Goswami, and they also had, various questions that were being presented. So Prabhupada, in this context, gives a very important reference uh, from the Shvetasvatara Upanishad. Yasya deve para bhaktir yata deve tata guru tasyaita patita yartam prakashanta mahatmanaha. Mm. The crucial test of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is that one should get positive enlightenment by such an act. Yeah. Prabhupada also makes a point here uh, that qualifies this type of hearing. It is called devotional hearing. We we need to have some type of uh, inclination or eagerness to hear. Prabhupada describes it as devotional hearing. Devotional hearing of the messages of the Lord is not like ordinary hearing, uh, not like uh, not like hearing ordinary topics. Therefore, the action will be felt by the sincere hearer uh, by experience of the gradual disappearance of ignorance. Yeah. Mm. And in the very beginning of the purport, Prabhupada also is, I guess, giving an appropriate example, comparing uh, these transcendental subject matters uh, or transcendental topics related to the Lord. When heard properly, they are meant to act just like someone getting injection, yeah, or like injections when received by the sincere devotee from a person who is perfectly uncontaminated by material tinges. So these two aspects are necessary. Uh, uh, they are, you can say, qualifications. One needs to be qualified to uh, uh, to hear by wanting to sincerely understand, and one needs to be qualified to speak by endeavoring to convey the message uh, that is being presented here. Uh, hmm. This is um, the same point that Krishna makes, isn't it? In the Bhagavad Gita. What is that verse? Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is explaining the three qualities or qualifications for one to receive transcendental knowledge. Tattvadarshina. Yeah, that's it. Yes. Yeah. Jnaninas tattvadarshina. To understand about subject matter, one has to receive it and one has to be uh, inquisitive, and one has to render, yeah, service. So the next verse is actually uh, having quite a long purport. We can just begin. Uh, So this is Maharaj Parikshit. This is being narrated by Sridham Goswami. We'll just read the portion of this next verse, which is text number 6. And I'll just read once the Sanskrit here. Bhuya eva vivitsami bhagavan atma mayaya yatedam srijate vishvam durvibhavyam adishvarai. Translation: I beg to know from you how the personality of Godhead, by his personal energies, creates these phenomenal universes as they are, which are inconceivable even to the great demigod. So, in the purport, Prabhupada explains here, in every inquisitive mind, the important question of the creation of the phenomenal world arises. And therefore, for a personality like Maharaj Parikshit, who was to know all the activities of the Lord from his spiritual master, such an inquiry is not uncommon. For every unknown thing, we have to learn and inquire from a learned personality. The question of creation is also one of such inquiries to be made to the right person. The spiritual master, therefore, must be one who is Sarvagya, as stated here before in connection with Sukadeva Goswami. Thus, all inquiries on God which are unknown to the disciple may be made from the qualified spiritual master, and here the practical example is set by Maharaj Parikshit. It was, however, already known to Maharaj Parikshit that everything we see is born out of the energy of the Lord, as we have all learned in the very beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Janmadhyasya Yataha. So Maharaj Parikshit wanted to know the process of creation. The origin of creation was known to him. Otherwise, he would not have inquired how the personality of Godhead, by his different energies, creates the phenomenal world. The common man also knows that the creation is made by some creator and is not created automatically. We have no experience of the practical world, in the practical world, that a thing is created automatically. Buddhist people say that the creative energy is independent and acts automatically as electrical energy works. But the intelligent man knows that even the electrical energy is generated by an expert engineer in the localized powerhouse, and thus the energy is distributed everywhere under the resident engineer's supervision. The Lord's supervision in connection with creation is mentioned even in the Bhagavad Gita 9:10. And it is clearly said there that material energy is a manifestation of one of many such energies of the Supreme. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Ruyate. An experienced boy may be struck with wonder by seeing the impersonal actions of electronics or many other wonderful things conducted by electrical energy. But an experienced man knows that behind the action is a living man who creates such energy. Similarly, the so-called scholars and philosophers of the world may, by mental speculation, present so many utopian theories about the impersonal creation of the universe. But an intelligent devotee of the Lord, by studying the Bhagavad Gita, can know that behind the creation is the hand of the Lord, just as in the generating electrical powerhouse there is the resident engineer. The research scholar finds out the cause and the effect of everything. But research scholars as great as Brahma, Shiva, Indra, and many other demigods are sometimes bewildered by seeing the wonderful creative energy of the Lord. So what to speak of the tiny mundane scholars dealing in petty things? As there are differences in the living conditions of different planets of the universe, and as one planet is superior to others, the brains of the living entities in those respective planets are also of different categorical values. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, one can compare the long duration of life of the inhabitants of Brahma's planet, which is inconceivable to the inhabitants of this planet Earth, to the categorical value of the brain of Brahmaji, also inconceivable to any great scientist of this planet. And with such high brain power, even Brahmaji has described in his great Samhita, Brahma Samhita 5.1 as follows: Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Translation: there are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagavan, but Krishna is the supreme because none can excel him. He is the supreme person, and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the primeval Lord Govinda and the cause of all causes. We won't read the whole report. It's a bit long. So any comments on this? Or thoughts? I think it's in this chapter that Prabhupada, in one purport, will be asking the question, why is Parikshit Maharaj, who is about to leave his body, he's about to die in a few days, why he's asking mundane questions? Normally we think that spiritual life, especially that's our experience also, if we know someone is about to die, we'll go and chant and read from Bhagavad Gita, uh, we will speak about uh, the spiritual world. We'll speak about devotional service. So, in one of these purports, Prabhupada will be raising this question as to why Parikshit Maharaj, who is about to leave his body, why does he even bother speaking about or asking, inquiring about seemingly like the creation, material creation? So we will wait to get the response for the proper understanding by when we will read that that report. So in essence, actually, it means that that the devotees of the Lord are not only uh, interested in uh, transcendental subject matters, but they are also interested in how the Lord conducts His affairs also in the material world. Uh, how how in this particular context, the subject matter of creation, how the Lord actually creates this material world. And of course, uh, we've heard many times as devotees the whole process of creation as described uh, in terms of the, isn't it, Mahavishnu and Garbhodakshai Vishnu and Kshirodakshai Vishnu. Uh, so there are uh, detailed information given in the Bhagavatam uh, regarding so many things actually regarding material subject matters. Anyways, when we will get to that purport, we can hear what Prabhupada is explaining. Okay. Okay, we can close the room. Jai Gantaraj Bhagavatam Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki.